Hello and welcome to this week's episode of Coast News. And as always, got some amazing news from different theme parks, rides, attractions and events all over the world. So let's get straight into the news today. Our top story for tonight, Fright Nights 2024 has officially begun at Thorpe Park. And yet again, it's become that time of year where all the Halloween events begin at theme parks across the world. And obviously with Thorpe Park, it's no exception. It's their most anticipated and most well-regarded event of the entire season. And this year it looks absolutely phenomenal. Like, of all the new additions they've been adding, this year the lineup, there's 4 mazes on this year's lineup. We've got Trailers, which is coming back for its 4th season, Survival Games in its 3rd season, Stitches in its 2nd season, and a new for 2024 Scare Maze, Deadbeat, which will be the brand new highlight attraction of this year's event. And they hosted the VIP event last night at the time of recording, and today is the official opening day of the event for the general public. And apparently it's absolutely phenomenal. Now, multiple things have changed. Crows and Morecambe Meadow, literally so much, by the looks of it, so much has been added to that whole area with like loads and loads of new theming. As long as that Trailers, apparently it's got 3 brand new scenes in there. One of the scenes is based on Creek Freak Massacre. The other one's based on Platform 15. I don't know what the 3rd one's based on yet. So now and apparently it's a lot more intense this time around as well. That's sounding absolutely amazing. And apparently the new scare maze this year, Deadbeat, apparently is really good. It's a very unique, one of the most unique mazes at Fright Nights. I've not seen any videos of it yet because I'm waiting until I actually go to Thorpe Park later this month to see it for myself. So I've not seen any videos of it, of any POVs or anything. So I'm just waiting to see what it's actually like when I go and visit at the end of this month. And obviously when that vlog does come out, I'll tell you what I think of it. Overall, this year's event sounds amazing. And one of the highlights of this year's event is night rides on Hyperia. Now, there was a couple of days ago, if you hadn't heard, a couple of days ago, Hyperia valid again. This is the 2nd time this year that the ride is valid. And it was literally only 2 days ago. So there was worried that it wouldn't be open in time for the opening of Fright Nights. But thankfully, and I don't know how they did this so quickly, they didn't even do it this quickly last time, but thankfully they managed to get it in time just before VIP preview night last night. Only thing being, it's only operating on 1 train at the moment, because the other train's currently in pieces and is being reassembled and probably put onto the track at some point in the future, but at least they got it back open again, even though it's only operating on 1 train, and the queues were absolutely crazy for it. It was 4 hours. But either way, I'm so glad that Fright Nights has returned for another season, and I cannot wait to experience it later this month. In other news today, Alton Towers have finally confirmed that Hex, the Legend of the Towers, will officially be reopening next Friday at 12 PM on the 11th of October 2024. And I'm so glad that they're finally getting Hex back open, even though it's kind of towards the end of the season. It's going to be open for about 4 weeks, but at least it's actually back open. It's opening in 2024 like they promised at the start of this year. But if you're not aware of what I'm on about, basically Hex, the Legend of the Towers, mainly just abbreviated to Hex, is a Vekoma Madhouse attraction that first opened at Alton Towers in the year 2000. It's one of the most iconic attractions at the park, and what's so unique about it is that it's all based on a local legend about the chained oak tree, the 15th Earl of Shrewsbury, the curse on his family. It's a really unique story. And it's literally one of the best attractions at the park. But unfortunately, for the last couple of years, it's been suffering a lot of downtime, loads of downtime. It's been closed all of this season. It was closed most of last season. It's been, I think it was closed all of last season. And it was only open for a little bit of the previous season. I think that's anyway. It's been closed for that long. And a lot of people have just been, literally at the start of this season, they said Hex is going to reopen later this season. And there's been no word about it for months. Literally, apart from today, the last thing we heard about it was back in the summer when they said Hex is reopening this autumn. But we had no idea when. There was lots of rumours saying it's not going to reopen this year because it's just getting way too late into the season. But then yesterday I started releasing a couple of teaser videos showcasing parts of Hex, both the exterior of the building and sort of bits in the queue line, whilst the camera's doing like a 360-degree rotation, because that's what the ride does. It like rotates, well, it has the illusion of spinning upside down. And then earlier today they confirmed that Hex is in fact reopening at 12 o'clock in the afternoon on the 11th of October. So next Friday, literally in about a week's time, Hex will be reopening, which is absolutely amazing. I really cannot wait to go back into this ride. And I'm actually interested to see what they've actually done with all the like the theming of it and whatnot, because it looks like they've made some changes to like the queue line and possibly the ride itself. We don't know what those are yet, but we'll potentially see. It looks like they definitely added like a new lighting package in there. Either way, I really cannot wait to get back on Hex again. This opening has been long overdue, but it's finally here, and I cannot wait to get back on one of the best attractions that Alton Towers has had in recent years. Also in the news today, Dreamworld in Australia are preparing to start testing on their brand new roller coaster, Jungle Rush. Now this looks like a very interesting roller coaster, and I'm so glad that it's getting so close to opening now. But if you know what I'm talking about, basically Jungle Rush is a brand new roller coaster. They're scheduled to open at Dreamworld in Australia at some point later this year. We don't know when. I'm predicting it could be like probably maybe December time, because it's definitely on track to open at that time, especially considering their last major coaster, Steel Taipan, opened in December of 2021, and I'm predicting it could open by then, especially at the rate it's all being built up. Now, Jungle Rush is a unique attraction because it is the world's first Vekoma switchback coaster. And from what I've gathered, it sounds very similar to the Intamin multi-dimensional coaster, because they've described that the ride will feature an inclined turntable, as well as forwards and backwards sections and dark ride elements. Now, from what we can tell, the ride will also have a lot of heavy theming as well, which is absolutely amazing. And I can definitely see this being similar to Intamin's multi-dimensional coaster ride type. Now, obviously all the theming has been going upwards really well, but the other day they posted the images of the ride's trains, which had arrived a few weeks ago, being moved from the transfer track from presumably the maintenance shed into the ride station building. So testing is pretty much imminent. And yeah, it's all looking absolutely fantastic. I love how they're starting to add more of the like immersive experience side of this ride, of this whole park. This is just like the first step towards them becoming like a whole immersive theme park experience. Because this ride is going to, like I said earlier, it's going to have lots of heavy theming. And overall, I wonder how this will play out for Vekoma as well, because this is their world's first switchback coaster. None of them have ever been built before. So this, like I said, this is the first one, and I assume it's going to be very similar to the Intamin multi-dimensional coaster. And considering this is most likely the prototype, if this is received well, that means we could be seeing more Vekoma switchback coasters being built in the future. I mean, we don't know. For all we know, this could be the new one going to Chessington at Chessington World Adventures in the next few years. Because obviously they've submitted plans to build a brand new indoor coaster. There's been a lot of speculation that that could be an Intamin multi-dimensional. But if we think about the bigger picture here, if Jungle Rush succeeds, it could also be a Vekoma switchback. We don't know. We'll have to wait and see how this ride's is received on opening. But yes, like I said, it's definitely on track to open at some point this winter. Construction is going really well and testing is about to begin, and I cannot wait to see when Jungle Rush opens at Dreamworld later this year. And finally in the news today, Mack Rides have revealed new details about Ghostly Manor, which is opening at Paultons Park next year. And I'm actually really looking forward to the opening of this ride. I've never been to Paultons Park, but I'm so looking forward to see how this will impact the whole UK theme park industry. But if you're not aware of what I'm talking about, basically Ghostly Manor is a brand new dark ride that is scheduled to open at Paultons Park in 2025. At the IAPA Expo recently, Mack Rides actually revealed some brand new details about this new attraction. They confirmed it is going to be, I believe it's the world's first Mack Rides gameplay theatre, which is a new type of dark ride. It's mainly like it's not like a traditional sort of dark ride. It's mainly sort of like, it's basically just a gigantic sort of like rotating table structure, which has 5 seats, like on all sides. It's going to be, it's an interactive dark ride as well, so it's going to feature sort of interactive like laser guns, but obviously much more modern versions of that. It's mainly like also a screen-based attraction, but that doesn't mean it won't have theming. It's going to have plenty of theming. Like there's going to be, I believe, 8 sort of sections onto this ride, 5 of which will include physical theming. Now the whole inner circle layer of the attraction will feature all that physical theming, and the whole outer layer of it will all be the screens that the guests will interact with the laser guns. Now, obviously, because it's a brand new dark ride, it's going to be featured in a gigantic new show building which replaces the 4D theatre which used to operate at Paultons Park. And as well as that, the gameplay theatre that they're going for is the smallest option out of the 3 variations that Mack Rides offer. And so currently there's two other options. There's the medium option which seats 96 people, and the large option which can seat up to 240 people, which is crazy. Now, and it is said that Europa Park are planning to build the larger variation of the gameplay theatre within the next few years to replace one of their former attractions at the Rulantica water park. And now this ride is going to be absolutely crazy. It's going to be heavily themed. It's going to be a world's first. It's going to feature interactive technology. It's going to be such a fun experience with all the, like I said, with the interactivity for it. Like, what's not to like about this new ride? We've needed something like this for ages. Like the UK, yes, it does have some quality dark rides, but it doesn't have many. So this is a welcome addition to the UK, and I can't wait to see what Ghostly Manor turns out to be like when it opens at some point in spring next year at Paultons Park. So that is it for this week's episode of Coast News. I hope you've enjoyed it, and if you did, then please make sure to like and subscribe, and comment if you would like to see in the next video. Goodbye.